Back in 2017, the Ethereum community watched, stunned, as a relatively small coding mistake turned into one of crypto's most famous disasters. Hundreds of thousands of Ethereum locked so that nobody, not the owners, not Parity Technologies, not the blockchain itself, can move them. At the time, the figure tossed around was more than $150 million. Today, that cache of frozen ether is worth a lot more, and the Parity incident still lives in code reviews. In this video, we'll walk through how the freeze happened, why the coins truly appear stuck forever, what it taught developers, and what it means for Ethereum's future. The video is going to be interesting, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more future updates. Let's get into the video. What actually happened? In November 2017, a user on GitHub, known as DevOps199 in the early write-ups, interacted with a Parity multi-signature wallet library contract in a way the developers hadn't intended. Because the library code was deployed as a separate contract and could be initialized directly, this user was able to become the library's owner and then called a self-destruct kill function that removed the library code. Many multi-sig wallets relied on that library's logic. With the library gone, those wallets could no longer execute any state-changing functions. The result was that roughly 500,000 Ethereum became immobilized. How many Ethereum were frozen, and how much was that worth then? Estimates converged on about 513,000 to 514,000 Ethereum frozen across hundreds of affected wallets. Numbers that at the time translated to something like $150 to $280 million, depending on which valuation and which day you used. The differences in dollar figures came from price swings and slightly different wallet tallies, but there was no denying scale. A huge pool of user funds had become unusable overnight. Why the design choice mattered: libraries versus embedded code. Parity's wallet used a separate library contract to hold core logic, a gas-saving and modular approach. That pattern is fine when the library is immutable or properly protected, but here the library was deployable and uninitialized in a way that allowed direct ownership. The brains were deleted and the bodies stayed, paralyzed. Articles and post-mortems repeatedly point to that architectural decision as the pivot point. Was it an attack or an accident? It's a weird mix. Some earlier incidents that year involved malicious actors exploiting other Parity bugs to steal funds. This one, the so-called kill incident, appears to have started when a user discovered they could initialize the library contract and then executed the self-destruct. The intent seems ambiguous. The library owner killed the contract, but did not, according to public records and early comments, abscond with funds. Why are the funds effectively inaccessible forever? Because blockchain state is immutable and Parity's library address was permanently removed, there's no on-chain undo button. Any proposal that would move the frozen coins would require either a hard fork, a change to the Ethereum protocol that undoes or alters transactions, or some other out-of-band miracle. Hard forks are politically toxic. They set precedents about when the community will rewrite history. After the DAO fork in 2016, the Ethereum ecosystem became especially wary of repeating controversial rollbacks. Attempts to recover what people tried. Immediately after the freeze, Parity engineers, community members, and independent researchers explored options: creative contract patching, tools to reinitialize wallets, and proposals for soft/hard forks. None of the practical on-chain fixes passed muster or could be executed without rewriting chain history in a highly contentious way. Some affected projects offered bounties, and there were attempts to trace and isolate affected balances, but the frozen Ethereum stayed frozen. The human impact: projects and people hurt. These wallets were used by ICO teams, organizations, and individuals. Some projects temporarily lost operational funds. Tokens held in those multi-sig accounts were also trapped. Even if a small team could prove legal ownership off-chain, that does nothing to move on-chain assets. The short-term harms included stalled projects, angry backers, and reputational damage for Parity. And they also fed a narrative that smart contracts, once deployed, are unforgiving beasts. Lessons for developers. What changed after Parity? Audit culture accelerated. Teams started embedding libraries differently, requiring thorough initialization checks and paying for formal security audits. Patterns like using immutable libraries, removing dangerous administrative functions, and adding multi-party guardians became more common. The parity freeze helped push the industry towards safer defaults, smaller centralized control surfaces, clearer upgrade patterns, and better community incentives for security. What is that frozen stash worth today? If you multiply the commonly reported frozen amount, about 513,774 Ethereum by today's Ether price, the dollar figure is now in the billions. Using a representative live price snapshot from major exchanges on September 26, 2025, roughly $3,893 per Ethereum, those coins would be worth about $2.0 billion. That number is a simple market price multiplication, frozen Ethereum times spot price, and helps explain why the incident remains headline-worthy 8 years later. The value moved from 9 figures back then to around $2 billion at modern prices. The parity freeze is one of those crypto stories that keeps resurfacing because it bundles a simple human error, an unexpected call to a function, with huge economic consequences and thorny social questions. 500,000 Ethereum sitting inert on the ledger is part cautionary tale, part historical artifact. It forced a maturing ecosystem to get serious about secure patterns, audits, and responsible governance. Whether you're a dev, investor, or watcher, the headline is the same. Smart contracts give you power and responsibility. And until we invent a better way to reverse irreversible mistakes, the Parity wallets will remain a time capsule of what went wrong when trust met code. Hope you guys enjoyed our video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more videos. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.